Okay, hello there, listeners. This is part 2 of Purim's special. I recommend to listen to part 1 because I gave there a bit of an explanation about what is Purim and there a bit about I started the story of Purim, which I'm going to continue soon. I will say if you insist on listen to only this part from some reason, know that it's not a pleasant story. It's a rough story, even though it's like a fun holiday, which is weird. Okay, so we were at the point where Haman is convincing, I think quite easily, Ahasuerus to let him and his nation massacre and kill all the Jewish nation. And now we have another storyline that happened kind of simultaneously, or almost simultaneously, I guess, because the king is in both storylines, so one of them need to happen first, but it doesn't matter that much, I think. So the other storyline is that the king is having like a drinking party with his friend. All along this story, people drink a lot of alcohol. That's like a basic part of the story. And yeah, that's also the explanation to why everyone dressed up in this holiday, because everyone's supposed to be like very drunk and like psychedelic or something. So the king is doing like a drinking party with his friends, and then he's telling them, you know, my wife is like really hot. I will call her and she will make like an erotic dance for us. And he tell to his servant, like, go there and call my wife Vashti. That's the name of his wife, Vashti. Call my wife Vashti and tell her to come here and do like a erotic dance for me and my drunk friends. And the servant is going, and he asking or telling Vashti to come and do that. And in this point, I will mention that again, if you're listening to my podcast, to preview episodes, so you kind of know probably already now that another very important base pole in my understanding, for the reason that that there is so much violence in human society, and specifically here in the Middle East, Israel, present time, is the idea of men taking power over women's, or patriarchalism. So here we see this again in this story, kind of warning us already, to my feeling, that lots of violence is going to appear when they tell us about this culture, that it's like okay for the king to like order his queen to like come and do this, you know, because he's like the owner of her body. It's the idea of ownership and the idea of hierarchy and taking power over people. Is it still recording? Yes, it is. Okay, so now we have a twist in the story, because Vashti go to the servant and she said like, no, I will not do that. So the servant go to Ahasuerus and tell him that, and Ahasuerus throw her away, like she's not the queen anymore. I'm not sure if she's dead or not, but anyway, the story just dropped her dead there. Vashti was bad, she's been punished, story over. We have no reference to Vashti anymore in the story, as far as I know, I think. Maybe just a mention. The reason that I'm telling this like sub story is the continuation of it, is that now the king need a new queen, right? Like one that is more obeying, and it need to be like a very like sexy, beautiful, young, probably underage in modern culture girl. So he called up to the people of the city, Shoshan, and said like, bring me all the beautiful girls. I want to choose myself a new queen, just because he can, because this is patriarchalism classic. And now we're going back to Mordechai. Now Mordechai if I understand the story, if I remember it correctly, he's aware of the fact that in this and that date, that there is a plan to massacre the Jews, or at least he's afraid that there is, or something like that. I think he know. And he have this plan how to save the Jewish nation. Or maybe I'm mixing the times. Maybe he's just doing what he's going to do just because he thinks it's like a good idea. It will give him like a good position politically, I think. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if he's already knowing about the massacre coming in this point. But anyway, he's telling his cousin, his orphaned cousin, that he have authority upon because she don't have her father, and he's the closest family member to her, so he legally have like authority upon her. You go just to like monotheistic patriarchal classic societies, it's quite common. You can see those kind of relationships in modern age, maybe not in between Jewish people, but in Islam for sure. So he tell his cousin Esther, which the story named after, remember, to go and offer herself to the king. So Esther, obviously, she's a woman. She need to obey to the men that have authority upon her. Again, this is the culture where the story is happening, and and she's going there. And what do you know? She's the chosen one, obviously, because the story is after her name. So the king chose her, and then another twist in the story. Now there are like people that are planning to murder the king. I think two of his guards or two of his ministers or something like this, planning to assassinate the king. And somehow Mordechai come to know about it. Okay, and now we have a plan. Okay. In this point, I want to say that I'm not sure if it's mentioned in the story why did they want to assassinate the king. I don't remember any like another political character that tried to take power instead of him. Yeah, because the king is kind of showing like the good guy in the story, so it's not important that much why do they want to kill him, right? If you're the good guy and they want to kill you, so they just want to kill you because they're evil or something, probably. You never ask why do they want to kill me, because you see them as evil, see? So we don't ask why do they want to kill the king, they just want to kill the king. As far as I know, maybe I misremembering. But anyway, Mordechai is coming aware of this scam to assassinate the king, and he telling Esther, like behind the fence or something, because now she's in the palace, she's like in a whole different place. He's telling her behind the fence, go to the king and warn him about that. And because in this way we will get like good, he will like us. And now there is this thing you need to know about how the kingdom palace work. The king have a queen, but they're not like married and living together in a shared house and shared bedroom. The queen have her own place, and the king have his own place. And obviously the king can have sex with as many women as he wants, and he have, I think, probably several of them. And every woman have like a room, and the king have his own house. And when he want to have sex with any woman, he just go to her room and have sex with her whenever he want. Kind of. This is the kind of relationship between the king and his queen or queens. Again, as far as I understand it. What am I relating on? It could be that I'm relating on a book by George Saramago by describing. Is it George Saramago that have a book about King David named God Knows? I think I have this picture of how does a king palace and a king relationship with his with his wives. I think I got it from that book. So I might be wrong, but sounds kind of sensible to me. I don't know. Anyway, the fact is, according to this story, is that Esther for sure is not living with the king in the same place because they have this law that if you only come to the king when the king invite you, even if you are the queen, you cannot just go to the king because you feel like. You have to be invited. And if you go to the king just because you feel like, without being invited, then you will be grabbed, taken away, and executed on the spot. Even if you're the queen, unless the king is like pointing at you with his little stick, like a little stick with like a shiny thing at the edge, something like, I don't remember the name in English, sorry. So if he pointed at you, it means that you are allowed to approach him and not be executed. So Esther go and do that. She go to the king without being invited because Mordechai told her. Okay, so the story is relating to Esther as like very brave and very generous and careful for her nation, because you see she do this in order to get like a political advance for the whole nation, in order to try and stop the massacre for happening. She's willing to potentially sacrificing her life for the possibility of saving her nation. And I think the usual way to look at it is saying like, wow, she's great, like she's like an example to how people should care about their nation or something. This is how I understand the conform interpretation for this move of Esther. But as I see it, it wasn't her decision. She was obeying command by her patriarchalic authority, Mordechai. Mordechai told her, go there and risk your life. I am willing to risk your life for the sake of the nation. And I think, this part relates to me with the hostages, with the Israeli hostages, and with the way that the Israeli government is the way that the Israeli government is reporting or treating, the way that the Israeli government is treating the Israeli hostages in Gaza. This is how I feel. They're saying, you people are very brave being tortured in hell for so many months. We're trying to get you back, but some stuff more important like revenge and illuminating all Hamas, which everyone that know anything about war know that it's impossible and this is not how things work. Because Hamas is an idea. It's an idea. You cannot kill idea by killing each person that believe in this idea. It never work, and it's just making the idea larger. Everyone that know anything about war know that. You never kill all the those motherfuckers. Anyway, I was speaking about the hostages, but I was speaking about Esther going to Achashverosh and telling him, oh my lord, thank you for pointing at me with your little stick and let me keep my miserable, pointless life, something. Not quoting the story. None of what I say is quoting the story. It's a lot of my interpretation. At less, except when I'm telling what characters are actually saying, this is all my interpretations. It's never quotes, but the storyline is true. This is the actual storyline, and the details are true. True to the story, please. So she go there and she tell him that his guards or ministers or something are planning to assassinate him, and the king is very happy. What do you know? He's satisfied. And he's very happy, and he make, you know what does royalty of Farsi culture are doing when they are very happy and satisfied? They drink. They do like a drinking party, and the king is doing a drinking party with Esther and with Haman. I think is also invited to this party. Haman, you remember this guy from the preview part? And then what happened? Should I make it another part? Because we're already at 15 minutes. I will make it another part. Yeah, it's gonna be the short part.